Hello. It is very funny because I don't even remember cutting my headset on, but apparently it is on. But I guess I'll find out when I click this and hear my voice after it loads. Alright, it is on. Definitely. And we're here for another episode in our My GM series on WWE 2K25. We're down to the last couple episodes, obviously. This time around, I don't really know what to expect. I know what we have planned. I know what we have planned for this episode. Other than that, I don't really know. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I will say this. I do remember from the last time around that we have this shakeup. That whenever a rivalry is resolved, we get 3,000 fans and $15,000. So you're getting fans and money, which is a plus. So there's a high chance that every episode this month has a steel cage match because we have several rivalries going on, and some of them need to conclude, like the one at top between Ruka and Naomi, but I won't spoil too much. Now, also on this side of things, where is the journal? There it is. Finn Balor wants to win his next match. I don't know if that's entirely possible, but his contract is up in 3 weeks. What will happen then? I don't know. Roman Reigns is getting his Universal title shot in the main event tonight, and Stephanie Vaquer and Rhea Ripley are challenging for the tag titles on this episode as well. So we're getting that stuff done. Trying to just recap everything. Rivalry-wise, what we do have going on. We have Sami Zayn and Jesse Ventura over the United States Championship. We have Ruka and Naomi over the Women's U.S. title that will likely conclude. Now, getting tricky, pun intended, I guess. Trick Williams is feuding with Seth Rollins. That's not what the plan is. That's not what the role is. We're supposed to be having Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins reuniting to face the reuniting team of Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes for the tag team titles, which we have not established that yet because we've obviously went the singles route first, but that should be coming along. Braun Breaker is feuding with Big E over the WWE title. Kiana James and Stephanie Vaquer's rivalry will probably conclude next week when I put them in a steel cage match. I also did forget that Kiana James is a face, but that was per her request, not ours. Everything else we will figure out. The main thing we need to figure out is a rival for Dominic Mysterio via new signing. But other than that, let's go ahead and get through this episode. It's already all wrote down. Main event, WWE title match. Here we go. I'm supposed to do something else tonight. Nobody else wants to reschedule. I'll always reschedule my shit. You know, I'm going off the rip, but I always reschedule my stuff. But other people don't. So I'm here instead with y'all, which is good. Naomi is out for 4 weeks. We had a 5-star match in the opening contest with Ruka, still as champion. Ruka is also competing on Saturday's main event against Bayley. John Cena's last show is this weekend. It would be a perfect thing if we could sign John Cena. I remember he popped up a couple weeks ago on the signing thing, and we didn't sign him. So, just because it is the week, John Cena's last week as a WWE superstar, it makes sense to have him here. But Finn actually wins this match. Good for Finn. I did not expect that to happen. So, he should be happy about that. And that's crazy, because Dominic Mysterio continues his win streak and captures the WWE Championship out of it. Imagine that we'll probably have to do a Braun Breaker and Dominic Mysterio match now. I don't really know of anything else to discuss. I will say that the card for John Cena. I don't know why they didn't get on us for not having the 5-star match in the main event, but I don't think it matters that much because we had a good show overall. Did that also say we're in Pittsburgh, PA? The way it looked, I thought that said Pittsburgh, Florida. I was like, that did not make sense whatsoever. And obviously, I know that Pittsburgh is in Pennsylvania. Now we're in Florida. That's funny. Vaquer is very happy to be on SmackDown. I'm not reading all that. I don't think that mattered that much. So we're having a gauntlet match tonight. I don't really want to, because gauntlet matches take a lot out of everybody. But I kind of want to get this last commissioner goal done. I did say, because here's the thing. If we're doing a gauntlet match, we could do Big E, Braun Breaker, Sami Zayn, and Jesse Ventura and have it be for the U.S. title. I think is the route to go. So, we'll do Braun Breaker, Big E, Jesse Ventura, and Sami Zayn. So we'll do that for now. We might change that. I doubt it. Opening contest will be Stephanie Vaquer, Kiana James in a steel cage to conclude their rivalry. I know it doesn't make the most sense. Next week, we will do Trick versus Seth in a steel cage. And then the week after that, we probably will do a women's tag title match in a steel cage. Because I kind of want to save Bull Nakano and Rhea. Maybe. One of those two. Either Rhea versus Bull Nakano in a steel cage or the women's tag title in the steel cage. It, I guess, will also depend on Stephanie Vaquer as well. So who all is in a rivalry here? I don't really want to rush. Jesse Ventura, Sami Zayn. I want Jesse Ventura as the U.S. champion. I just think something about that is funny. But to be honest, I'm all right with any of these people, competitors, being U.S. champion. So it's also just going to depend on the staminas on what happens with that, and who ends up in a steel cage match. Now, I will say this. We have $300,000. And I think we should, but I probably won't make a purchase. You know what? We are. I know what we're doing. All right, we're going to purchase this, which is very controversial. We have enough money for this episode. How many charity promos? Probably 2. No, just 1. At some point in the next couple videos, we will have to use this $100,000. I do realize that. We also, again, need to make a signing, which we won't do that this week because of money. So, as long as we can put an episode together this week, I won't use the $100,000 yet, and then we'll see where we go from there. Now, I want at least one charity promo. I think I actually know what we're going to do. All right, we're going to do something very obscure. Because I need Dominic. If he's going to be WWE champion, he needs to be a specialist. Because there's not many giants for him to go against on the roster. And I need Finn to be a face. Because we either keep Finn and he feuds with Dominic over the WWE title, or Finn leaves, and you'll see where we go with that next week. Regardless, I think it benefits Finn more to be a face than a heel. And then we don't even have enough for a charity promo now, so we'll just have to do an ad promo up here. I kind of want to give Sol Ruka the week off. So we'll have to figure something out there, women's division-wise, what we're doing. We can actually have Trick and Seth in a match, just a one-on-one match. And then next week, like I said, we'll do the cage match between those two. And then that leaves us. We should probably do a women's match. Maybe Rhea. I don't want to do anything with Rhea Bull Nakano. All right, I think we're just going to do a Sol Ruka U.S. title match. Or just a Sol Ruka triple threat with Dakota and Raquel. And we're going to use this power card for Soruka, because she's at a 13 stamina. And then we'll come up here. Whoever's got the highest promo, we'll probably just do Roman, because Rhea Ripley's promos have not been giving us good results for the past couple months. So it's not an indictment on her. I just think it's oversaturation for the crowd. And I tried to use big words there, and I think I butchered the last one. Maybe that's going to be my New Year's resolution for 2026. Use bigger, more lucrative words. Because I obviously write the bio for all of our video descriptions for all of my videos. I have not done, at the moment of me speaking right now, I did not make one for my Final Battle 2010 retro review. Mainly because I got too lazy of writing the same stuff over and over again. It's kind of the point I'm getting at. I also just realized that Kiana James versus Stephanie Vaquer is face versus face, which again, is not my doing. Trick Williams. Oh, I just realized they go home episode to this pay-per-view. What is the next pay-per-view? It's probably not going to be that good. Bash in Berlin. I think we get, I don't even remember what the power card is that we get for Bash in Berlin, but I remember it's not one that I like that much. Yeah, we'll leave it for now. Did they wear these colors? Because their color schemes are very similar, but I don't think this is from the time period that they were teaming together. I think this is actually from the time period they were feuding. Because remember when, this is, obscure AHS notes. Remember when Raquel and Aaliyah, they brought the women's tag titles back, and Raquel and Aaliyah won them, and everybody thought it was going to be Io and Dakota? And then, literally, not too long, like, several episodes. I don't think it was a week later. I don't really think it was a week later, but it's very soon after they just did the title change anyways. So it was like, everybody's like, why do we have to wait on that, Speaking of that time period, because I'm thinking of this, it's been on my mind. I've been talking a lot about my retro reviews. I have fun doing the retro reviews, but because I am such a weirdo and I plan things out, I had planned out to review the 2023 Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber the same week as those premium live events pay-per-views in real life. So it's going to be a nice tie-in. But apparently the news that has came out is that the WWE Archive is leaving Peacock at the end of the year. And I don't like that. The rumor today was that slowly but surely that stuff will be coming to YouTube, which makes sense because they've uploaded a handful of them as of recently, but not everything. So, and also it wasn't like they're uploading it all at once. I think that'd be a little bit too, and it would be the right thing. It would be the right thing to do, but they have a hard time doing the right thing sometimes. So Soruka wins. And she is feuding with Dakota Kai. I don't really have a problem with that. We will need to find something for Raquel to do, however. As Sami Zayn retains, good on Sami. And almost 5-star match. I'll round up and say 5-star. Point being, what makes it a lot more funny is I own the Elimination Chamber 2023 on DVD because I got it on sale at Big Lots when they had like a big WWE DVD sale, and I think all Big Lots closed since then. And I've looked for the DVD on like eBay and other websites. It's like $20, $25. I'm like, I'm not spending that much on it, sadly. I might cave and do it, but at this exact moment of me telling y'all and, giving y'all previews and stuff, I'm not. Okay. Right now, we are in the lead with the fans. I love that. We gotta keep this rolling now. That's not that much, actually, Finn. That's not that much. So, I will oblige. I don't really want to. I'm not giving any bonus. We're getting. Because it's Dakota Kai. Oh, my goodness. I want to flip a coin. We're flipping a coin. I like Dakota Kai, but it's not like I would guarantee give her a bonus. Heads, she gets the bonus. Tails, she doesn't. It lands on tails. I love you, Dakota Kai, but you ain't not getting a bonus. You're not receiving a bonus. I stopped a double negative from happening. Oh, Jesus. She is really pissed about that. Oh, boy. At least one Extreme Rules match this week. And we got a contract extension card. All right. This steel cage match needs to be Seth versus Trick. And we're going to have Roman do a run-in, which I don't know how you can really do a run-in in a cage match, but I do think it is plausible. We need... We're going to... wow, that's so Ruka. It's 11 stamina. We're going to buy one of these. We're going to use this on NXT. We can use that. We will use this on NXT as well. And we'll use this on EC. We'll save that one. All right, back over here. We can do Big E and Braun Breaker in an Extreme Rules match. I think that sounds like a decent Extreme Rules match. Raquel wants a different opponent besides Solruka. Kiana James' contract is about to expire. Bull Nakano's contract expires the week after that. So, I think we'll go ahead and do one talent scout search here. Which, if I wanted John Cena, I would need to do an Immortal one, but I love John Cena. I don't know how reasonable that would be. The Sandman would be a funny signing. Michin, Kairi Sane. I don't really know what we need. We needed somebody for Raquel, correct? I think Kairi Sane makes the most sense because Raquel is a giant. Kairi is a cruiser. I'm trying to think if there's somewhere we could fit Michin into this. So Kairi makes the most sense. And we could do something where Dakota and Kairi reunite and feud with Raquel and maybe Kiana. That would have to be a double turn there. We would need something for Sol Ruka. Because we can't do her and Naomi again. So just thinking about people potentially on the trading block. So I think we'll go with Kairi. I said that we needed something Michin. But Michin, I'd rather keep a face, So don't really need to go for Michin at the moment. Sorry. I don't think if we've had her on the roster, it was not for very long. So, apologies. So, Kairi, we will sign for how long? 7 weeks seems reasonable. And we will go ahead and use this $100,000. Why can't I wish this next pay-per-view was freaking Money in the Bank, So we will do Raquel and Kairi in a backstage brawl. No real reason, but do we do Rhea and Bull Nakano here? I will say that could be an option. We need a Carmelo Hayes match, if I'm just being honest. Melo, Sammy, and Finn. I think we'll do something slightly different. I think we'll do Finn. Or, what is Sami's stamina? Sami's at an 18 stamina. We need Carmelo Hayes in a match, is the main point. The first two this match and this match makes sense. This match makes sense. I'd like a multi-person match here. We could do Mello, Dominic, and Finn in a triple threat. And that might spins off to Finn versus Dominic. I'm just trying to get Mello involved. So it doesn't make the most sense. But mainly because I'm trying to get Mello involved. Like I said, it makes a little bit of sense. So boom there. And then we will get a charity promo from Jesse the Body. We'll let Rhea rest this week. We might need Dakota Kai as a specialist. I think Dakota Kai would benefit from being a specialist because everybody else here is fighters. There's no other bruiser on the roster besides Bull Nakano. So there is that. And we'll let Bull Nakano do a charity promo as well. Anything else? We're spending all our money. Is there somebody here that like Umaga could like really feud with? Like Umaga and Roman Reigns obviously would be interesting, but it's not really what I'd want to do. I should spend this money and use this on Dakota Kai, but it seems like a lot. I also just realized that hey, we have the Go Home episode next week. Alright. You write all this down. Not our grand opening, grand closing. The stuff in the middle is interesting stuff. Not necessarily the best stuff. I'm also cowering. Actually, we don't have enough money to do another charity promo anyway, so I was going to say I'm cowering, and I'm going to do a charity promo with Dakota Kai. I can't even do that. So, Big E Braun Breaker, Extreme Rules match. Makes sense. This next episode, if I'm being honest, might be all steel cage matches. You can call it lockdown. That way, because that way, how much we get $3,000 for each cage match, I believe. 3,000 fans, $15,000. We might be doing all cage matches on the Go Home episode. Hashtag lockdown. Which is not the first time that we've done that, actually. But I don't know how many rivalries are going on. And if I do go that route, I'm fairly certain we couldn't do the women's tag team match. So realistically speaking, we need Finn and Dominic to really... We either need Dominic to establish a feud with Finn or Dominic to establish a feud with Mello. So we'll let that happen on its own. But we do have Jesse, Ventura versus Sami, Big E and Braun, women's tag titles, or Rhea. We might go Rhea Bull Nakano, if I'm being honest. And then at the pay-per-view, we do the women's tag titles. Maybe. That's just me thinking out loud. Because I would potentially need another pay-per-view match anyways. Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio versus Carmelo Hayes. Kairi Sane versus Raquel Rodriguez. I've not yet called her Gonzalez, which I'm very surprised. But I've also, most of the time, when I've said her name, she's been right in front of my face. Trick Williams versus Seth Rollins. Steel cage. Boom. All right. In Chicago, Illinois, technically. Rosemont. I have no clue where Rosemont, Illinois, the difference. Because most of the time they just say Chicago. Big E wins. Jesse Ventura. So Melo wins. It did not establish a rivalry with anybody. I don't. Wait, can we look? No. Welcome to your first show. Hey, Paul, we've legitimately been here for 6 seasons. That's hilarious. I don't know if I could have skipped all that in general. So, Melo kind of let us down a little bit. As Raquel wins. We need to find a tag partner for Raquel. Because I think Dakota and Kyrie versus Raquel in a tag partner. Worst case scenario would be Kiana James. So Seth wins here. And Trick is out for 8 weeks. That's not good. That is not good. It's just delaying our tag division a lot more. I see Ken Shamrock is here. Do we try and trade for Ken Shamrock? Maybe. I don't really know what he would do here, which is my rationale for a lot of things on this roster. So, we're about to go very crazy and do a bunch of steel cage matches, which might bite us in the ass. We got at least a contract upgrade. We're in Canada. Okay, so that just means that we got to do the women's tag title match. I don't know why that was the. Okay. This is, look, most of the time when somebody asks this, we get offered and we get asked, hey, I get the option, hey, you can have a week off, because I would have just gave her the week off. All right. I know that we're doing Rhea and Buonacano on this episode. We're just going to lie. We're just going to lie to Raquel. We're lying to Raquel more than likely. At least one Falls Count Anywhere match this week. Okay. How many more of these we got to do? 3. Thought we were done. All right. Rhea Buonacano is being done on this episode because Buonacano's contract expires. So, we know that. Boom. It makes sense to do Jesse Ventura and Sami Zayn in a steel cage match. Boom. Braun and Big E, it makes sense to do in a steel cage match. Which, even though I don't like it, because I see that Braun is at 33 stamina. Everybody else, like I said, is freaking hurt. I don't know what we're about to do with the tag. I want Roman and Seth to be a tag team. I want that to be known. I want those two guys to reunite as a tag team. Worst case scenario, I might have to just turn Finn back as a freaking heel and do Judgment Day versus Shield for the tag titles. Meaning we'd have to take the world title off of Dominic, potentially put it on Melo, which maybe he likes that. I think that'd be good. I don't know many people that'd be told, hey, you're not going to get the tag titles, but you get the world title and be mad about it. So, maybe that is an option. I think that makes the most lot. And he did win last week. So, Melo and Dominic in our Falls Count Anywhere match, because they have somewhat, Melo at least, has somewhat decent stamina, and this isn't concluding a rivalry, so it doesn't make sense to do it for the tag titles or in a steel cage. So this last matchup, logically speaking, should be Raquel versus Kyrie in a steel cage, because it's the only rivalry that can conclude. And then, best case scenario, we could do, because Dakota got vetoed, because we could have done Soul and Dakota, but even then. So I think there's a chance that we trade Raquel. I think there's a high chance we trade Raquel. So this is our lockdown special. I hate to turn Finn back as a face, but that might be what happened. Or as a heel. We're going to do as many charity promos as we can to build on our fan momentum. I have no clue what our pay-per-view match will be just yet. Kiana James has a higher promo than Soruka. I don't really know. We'll potentially look at signings, more signings at the pay-per-view. So logically speaking, we need the WWE title to go to Carmelo Hayes. We need, when Trick comes back, he will probably feud with Big E, which sounds decent. Mello versus Braun Breaker, which they had a rivalry in real life. We might be renewing that. Not entirely sure of that just yet. We need to trade Raquel for a tag partner that would fit Kiana James or Naomi to feud with Dakota Kai and Kairi Sane. We need to find a Bull Nakano replacement. I also do think that we're about to go on the route of our Stephanie Vaquer Rhea Ripley rivalry. I've been putting it off for several seasons and now months, but it might be time for that. Logically speaking, most reasonably speaking, we need to trade Raquel for a tag partner that fits with Kiana James to feud with Kairi and Dakota. I also did forget about Soruka. So Soruka. How many women are on this roster right now? 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. So Bull Nakano leaving doesn't matter that much because we'll be back at 8. We just need to replace Raquel with someone and either have Naomi and a tag partner feud. Okay. We need to trade Raquel for someone that can team with Naomi. Naomi and that tag partner versus Dakota and Kairi. Kiana versus Sol for the women's U.S. title. Rhea versus Stephanie for the women's title. Potentially. Yeah, I think that makes no sense because I think Kiana and Sol would be better than Kiana and Rhea, Stephanie. So I think that makes sense. The women's tag titles might be a casualty in a rivalry that doesn't. The two tag partners are feeding one another. So there is that. Also, will say, we need something for Sami Zayn and Jesse Ventura to do. I did forget that this rivalry will conclude. So, Jesse Ventura, don't know really what's really next for him. He could be the U.S. champion. Time will tell. So, let's get this episode. Let's get done with the pay-per-view. Then, plans could actually start taking shape and happen. Because I also want to get this tag division running. That is my main thing that I need. So, I won't title this Lockdown, even though it makes the most sense because we have the Falls Count Anywhere match, which we could just classify in quotations as a backstage brawl. Sami Zayn defending his U.S. title against Jesse Ventura. U.S. title. Steel cage. It is also a very weird week in the NBA because the NBA Cup is going on, the tournament portion, and there's barely any games this week for some reason because most seasons they just play, I don't know. I think they're just trying to get us to watch the Cup games, which I guess makes sense. I have no clue when that stuff concludes and whatnot. I just know that there's not a lot of games this week because of it. And I cannot wait till December 15th when trades can start happening because so many teams are in bad shape right now. And I mentioned it. I don't remember what video exactly I mentioned it, but I was like, if you're a player that signed a contract and December 15th comes around and you're immediately gone, they did not think that highly of you. And that would kind of be a bit of a stinger. But it is what it is. They're millionaires. Most of them are. So that's why I was like, yeah, can't sting that bad. Main event, women's title match, Bull Nakano versus Rhea. Ripley, Bull Nakano. versus Rhea Ripley women's title steel cage. Boom. All right. If there's anything else, I don't know. So Jesse Ventura is finally U.S. champion. Sami is out for 4 weeks. We'll see how that goes. That's not a good sign because the show's literally just starting. So Raquel wins this. Did not come out with an injury. Good. Braun Breaker wins this. So Big E and Jesse Ventura might be our rivalry. Might be. I've also think I've just come to the conclusion we're uneven on the men's side. But I haven't done proper math with that. As Buonacana wins, but she's having to vacate her title because she's leaving. So that might give a preface for Stephanie Vaquer and Rhea Ripley to start feuding because the women's title's vacated and they both won it. I see Dragon Lee. I'm trying to think who could benefit on our roster. Dragon Lee would be nice. Ken Shamrock would be nice. I remember last year, 2K24, we had Ken Shamrock and Kurt Angle feud. And that was like, oh my God. It was Stone Cold and CM Punk, Ken Shamrock, and Kurt Angle. And we had John Cena and Trick Williams at one point, but I think that was way before we did those other ones. Okay. That does hurt. That does hurt because we have used a lot of XP points on her. That is hilarious that she wants to do that now, but I'm not trying to piss her off anymore. So I'll take that. That does suck, though. Rest your female solo champions. That sucks. Actually, that doesn't. That would just be Solruka. All right. Solruka, I'd like to have you on the pay-per-view, but the boss man said that you can't. Haha. All right, so we'll use this. I think I said we'd have Big E in this match. Do we do Big E or Roman? I think we'll just go with Roman because he's got a higher stamina. We need Kyrie. Oh, my goodness. Kiana in this match. We'll give Kiana a chance. Give Kiana a chance. Now, please, I'm going to go to this power card. Please have several injury rehab cards. Okay, we have one of these. We need Stephanie Vaquer back. What sucks is I'm going to have to use a 3-week injury rehab card. Actually, no. Actually, no. This is going to be a make or break decision here. For the WWE title, Carmelo Hayes versus Dominic Mysterio in a steel cage match. Because this is the last show that we could do the steel cage match and get the boost out of it. Yes, it would make a lot of sense to do the women's tag title match, but you see the two issues here. Thing one, I don't want to use that last rehab card on Stephanie Vaquer because... So there's that. There's thing one there. Thing two, I just mentioned I'm going to try to trade Raquel. I don't want to really risk her getting injured. Thing three, if Mela becomes WWE champion, that, like I said, changes a lot of things up. So I'm not trying to get a lot of injuries. So if I did a 4-match versus a 2-match, you see where the injury risk comes into that. So we'll do that match instead. So Trick is out for 7 weeks. We would actually get a lot of money by firing him. Trick, you did well for us. But this is going to help us out. We're firing Trick Williams. All right. The Rock, D'Lo Brown, Mick Foley. I will admit it is funny because we've had... I want... D'Lo Brown on this roster would be hilarious. We'll probably go with The Rock, if I'm just being honest. Nobody here really benefits us that much. So do we go with D'Lo Brown or The Rock? I just realized that we could do The Rock versus Roman Reigns. We needed a tag. What? Oh my goodness! Look at them trying to screw over our freaking. Oh my god! Whew. We're doing Dominic and Finn versus Roman and Seth. Bringing in The Rock to feud would ruin everything, like real life. We needed something for like everybody. That was like the only men's rivalry though that was like set in stone. We could also bring in Rock and Mick Foley and do Rock and Sock versus Seth and Roman. But I also logically don't think we have enough money for that. I think I'm willing to take if Roman was a freaking fighter, I think I'm taking the risk on it. How much? All right, let's do the math first. We might be just doing this for the month because this is a lot of money. So together, we don't have enough money to even sign both of them for 5 weeks at least. We could do the freaking Nation of Domination, D'Lo and The Rock. Even then, that seems like it doesn't make the most sense. All right, I think logically speaking, we will wait. Even though The Rock is so intriguing, The Rock was on our roster at one point, but he just really cut promos and had one match. Mick Foley was here for like a couple months though, so I think we'll just hold off on it. We will hold off on it. Did we fire Trick Williams though? And I wasted the money. We didn't waste the money. We wasted money doing the talent scout search because we're not signing any of them, obviously. But you get the point I was trying to make. So Roman, I also forgot I had on this match, by the way. Jessica Shira, another charity promo. Kiana James in the main event. So let's go ahead and get this freaking show done with. Select a superstar on your roster to regain a large morale boost. All right. So, episode 140. I hit the button. Why didn't it go? All right, there it goes. Bash in Berlin. Y'all are going to know before me who's in this match, but I do know representing SmackDown is Roman Reigns. I'm raising my head up in 3, 2, 1. Ricky Steamboat, Alex Shelley, and the Iron Sheik. This is a Fatal 4-Way match. Iron Sheik of NXT. Ricky Steamboat of ECW. And Alex Shelley of Raw. Alex Shelley should be in ECW, but that's a discussion for those two GMs. As our guy wins, so I don't know who will be using that morale booster on, but it's a nice timing on that. I just realized what I forgot to do. I think I forgot to use the pre-match, prevent injury card on Dominic because he's at 12-7. I don't think we used the card. That was what I meant to do. I knew I was forgetting something. WWE title, steel cage match. That's everybody else is doing backstage brawls. Carmelo has wins. Dominic is out for 7 weeks, so we might have should have signed The Rock and Sock. All our plans are going to hell. But it's trading soon. We got to make a trade. We got to make a trade or two. So Isla Dawn is a double champion. We need to find a tag partner for Kiana James. Is our main goal. Or Naomi. Actually, no. It was Naomi. We need to find a tag partner for Naomi to feud with Kyrie and Dakota. Trading Raquel away for that. Men's division-wise, we might have to make a signing or two because of it. Is somebody just the title? Andre the Giant is here in the ECW. Candace of Raw. There's a video of Michelle McCool and Undertaker in their gym, I guess at their home, and there's a bunch of pay-per-view posters up on their wall, and I got a big laugh because one of them is not a pay-per-view poster. It is a poster of The Undertaker on the Stone Cold podcast. Yes. Tegan Knox wins. I was trying to... You remember when she was in, like, all that drama, like, a whole month ago, and just... It ended. Nobody cared. That's how it should have been to begin with. I was trying to avoid saying their names, and then, obviously, she won the match. I had to at least, like, acknowledge it then. I didn't, but I did. Alright. And as we got another one of those. So... Fan-wise, NXT are right behind us. So, we also have 500,000. I don't know where all this money came from. We have a lot of injuries, though. Naomi is about to be back. So, Raquel Rodriguez, who would be a good tag partner for... Actually, it would make the most sense if it was Bayley, if I'm just being honest. Because Bayley she's a friendship with Naomi going against her former Damage Control teammates that turned on her. So, Bayley legitimately makes the most sense. We need someone for Carmelo Hayes to feud with. And I've been ready to bring Obafemi back. So, Abyss I would love on this roster, but I don't know necessarily what we'd be doing with him right now. We need to find someone for our tag division. It's not a must because I don't really think that many people... Sami Zayn. Kevin... Ooh. Kevin Owens kind of costs a lot. And, NXT is not very happy with us. ECW almost has $1 million. Gunther and Ludwig versus The Shield would make sense. But I think these two make the most sense right now. Because we could do Obafemi versus Carmelo Hayes for the WWE title. We could even do Big E versus Obafemi if needed. Braun Breaker versus Carmelo Hayes for the WWE title. One of these, we're going to have to do a bunch of changes between heel, face, cruiser, specialist, all that anyways. We're also going to have to freaking renew Kairi Sane. So, I think Bayley makes the most sense. Obafemi, I wanted to bring back regardless. So, is there anybody here I would be... I should have traded Trick Williams in this and, got rid of the money. Big E, to be honest, we don't have plans for. He's just kind of someone that we've been, when stuff has been needed. Finn, it's kind of the same thing, but because he's on a contract, he doesn't have that much value. But if I traded Big E away, I'm essentially trying to do this to, save money. It's kind of my thing I'm getting at. So I'll at least try this and see what they say. If not, I might take Big E out and just offer them money. Because Big E, there's no reason to get rid of him. I was just trying to do it for money purposes. Okay. Sorry, Big E. So Bayley and Naomi versus Kairi and Dakota. Kiana versus Sol, Rhea versus Stephanie Vaquer. Oba versus Mello. Seth and Roman versus... I forgot about Sami Zayn as well. Because we need somebody for Jesse Ventura. We need something for the tag division. Jesse Ventura and Shaq would be hilarious. Wesley would be nice on the roster, but... I don't know necessarily what he would be doing. If there was a proper tag team that could feud with Seth and Roman, I would consider it. Which the most logical thing would be Kevin Owens. But he costs a lot of money. And I would have to take freaking Sami Zayn out of this. So, I think we're just going to have to find our own tag team. Because Gunther and Kaiser probably cost a lot of money. Unless I just offer All right, yeah, because like Sami Zayn on his own is not even like worth Kaiser. Sadly, I'm not trying to like get rid of our whole roster too. Is kind of the issue. So we'll just move on. Sami Zayn will be back soon, hopefully. Yeah, I'm not doing that. It's not the worst thing, but I don't really want to do that. I also just realized that both of their contracts are kind of not. Yeah, I'm 110% not doing this. I just realized that they were asking for the money because their contracts. Boss, I'd like to get as much ring experience as possible as part of my journey. I feel like a no holds barred match would be perfect for me. Can you book me? I don't know what Dakota got mad at us about, by the way. Because she got mad because we didn't give her the bonus. Then she turned back to a fighter after we just changed her to a specialist. And she got like a little bit happy. So why she's still mad at us, I don't really know. But I'm willing to put her in a match tonight. So, boom, she's right back there. Select a superstar. Gain $10,000 whenever you book them in a match. Decrease the ticket price of all arenas, but increase arena capacity by 40%. I think decrease the ticket prices, but increase arena capacity. I think this helps our fans out. It takes a little bit of money, but the amount of fans that we get, that might be risky, but it is what it is. So we only got one more of these to do. Book your least popular star in a match this week, which would be Oba. We got a lot to do. All right. Kiana James wants a no-holds-barred match. I also keep forgetting that she is a freaking face. Oh my god. This is going to be so... This is head. This is already my head. Because everything is opposite of what we need. We're going to do Kiana James versus Sol Ruka. We need Kiana James to be a heel. We're going to do Bayley and Naomi versus Dakota and Kairi Sane. We need one of the two sides. Actually, we might just go the dynamic of a heel and a face versus a heel versus a face. Might be the dynamic we'll go with. We do need at least one specialist. While I see it, thing one. Let's go ahead and use this on Kairi. Thing two. I think that Dakota is the most unhappy here. Kiana's also unhappy, but I feel y'all just saw the issues that we're having with her. Let's go ahead and use this on Dakota. Who also wanted a match this week. Dakota and Sol Ruka makes the most sense as a match, by the way. So we will do that here. We'll probably put a stipulation on it. Logically speaking, Kiana versus Naomi makes the most sense as the no-holds-barred match. Why she wants a no-holds-barred match, by the way, I don't like. Because somebody's going to be injured for a week. Next 2 weeks, actually. Okay. So we're going to turn her back to a... We're going to turn her... All right. We're going to turn her back to a heel. I don't know. We don't have to have her be a heel. I also don't like that Bayley is at a non-stamina, by the way. Oba Femi needs to be in a match. I will say that. We need to we're making a big search right now. Where we got $533,000, I will admit. That is a lot. This is a terrible one. This is terrible. I love Billy Gunn. None of these people are going to help us out. Tamatonga, Michin. Please tell me that we have a power card that could do a talent scout search, because none of that really helped us out whatsoever. And we don't. I gotta stop doing the immortal one. That's the issue, because it takes up 3. With Legends, it also takes up 3, but at least you're saving $25,000. None of these people would make good tag teams. And our women's division is actually pretty decent right now, so none of that really helps. All right. Do we go with this? Do we do this right now, by the way? We don't have enough for that. We should have done that, but we did the damn talent scout search. That might come back to bite us in the ass, but we're almost full of all that anyways. Ooh, I'm glad that I looked at that, by the way. Dakota wants a match. Finn's contract's about to expire. So, we can't even wait for Trick to come back because we got rid of him. Our WWE title picture right now, I have no clue what direction we're going with. We need to find a tag team for Seth and Roman to feud with or bring Dominic back, but we got to wait legitimately a month plus for that. Because we're not getting freaking injury rehab cards. We could do a Jesse Ventura U.S. title match. But legitimately, none of these would be an interesting match for the body. We're not even getting that much money if we got rid of them, by the way. I did consider that. That's why I looked. Do we do a title match in every match, by the way? It is being considered. Because there is one in the opener. Would anybody here be a good tag partner for Braun Breaker, by the way? Logically speaking, it would be Seth. But then I want the Shield reunion. That's why I keep trying to force the Seth and Roman tag team. I think it just makes the most sense to do Jesse Ventura versus Finn. And when I say that makes the most sense, it actually doesn't make any sense whatsoever. We could do Seth, Roman, Mello in the main event with Braun Breaker interfering. This would also be a perfect time for Scott Steiner to pop up in one of those the talent searches, by the way. And then Mello can extend his title reign. We also need Obafemi in a match, so that kind of negates that as well. So we might have to do that as a fatal four-way, actually. So Mello, Oba, because I want that to be the rivalry. We will probably have to change Mello to a specialist regardless. I think we might need to do that now. We'll do that now. While we're thinking of it, gives him a little bit more of a rest. He's also had a 1 promo for some reason. Mello. I'm sorry that I choose everybody to be a specialist, by the way. But Mello as a specialist. We'll do a number 1 contenders match down here. I don't want any of these to become a rivalry, though. That's the issue. We could also bring Sami back. All right, I think that might be the route we go, by the way. We'll bring Sami back this week. What he will do, I don't know just yet. Kind of just stuck. We're very stuck. We have plans, and then immediately they get screwed over. It's kind of what our issue is at the moment. I think for the time being, we'll have Sami do a charity promo. Why are so many of these promos low, by the way? Ooh, all right. I'll have a very intriguing main event. See, Bailey. Oh my God. Ella. At the button. Why are so many of these promos? All right, the audio didn't mess up, but I hit the pound button. So, how can we do this? How can we do this? How can we do this? I think this makes a lot of sense. Kyrie would have to go after Bailey. We need Oba in this match. We might just sign someone random for Oba to go against, by the way. There's nobody here. Everybody here is a freaking heel, which is hilarious for that. George Steele. Just because I feel we could get something out of that. Is there a fixed match card here? There's one. I know I have a fixed match card, but I was gonna say if we have another one. No. We're just gonna do a backstage Raw. Just gonna do a backstage Raw. I wanted to do a casket match to get to the plus 10,000 fans, but we'll just do the backstage Raw and not risk anything else. And we'll have Roman do a charity promo. Next week we cannot, and I mean cannot, do an Immortal talent search because it screwed us every time. We would do a Legends talent search. It has a high chance of screwing us, but at least we're not losing $25,000 out of it. So that being said, though, we'll use one of these on Bailey. Oh, interesting episode. Especially because only one match has a stipulation. Alright. Episode 141. Sol Ruka defending against Dakota Kai. I forgot about Kiana. We have Kiana James do a... We actually... We're going to do Kiana James as a heel because regardless... Is Kiana James in a match? Where the hell is she at? No. We need Kiana James to be a heel regardless. Mello could be a cruiserweight. It doesn't make the most sense. But we need Kiana James to be a heel. And then we can't really fit Mello into any of these other matches, though. So we give Mello the week off as champion. But I was going to have... you get the point. Because next week we're going to do Sol Ruka versus Kiana James in a no-holds-barred match. And then it would make a lot more sense, face versus heel. Jesse Ventura, U.S. title match. So technically every match we could look at as a title match. And we'll just say that the third match was unofficial because it was backstage. I like thinking of it that way. My ear itches very much right now. I just marked pin on my finger. All right. We're in England. As Sol Ruka is still the champion. Jesse Ventura is still the champion. I'm marking out that Opa Femi won. That's not a good look for us. That's a terrible look for us. And no title changes. As EL Sky is on Raw now. Bro, we should have traded for Abyss. Abyss and Obafemi actually could have been very beneficial for us. I also just realized that the Good Brothers broke up down there, and The Rock is now in ECW, which he could have been here. Hilarious. Not our best episode. No, very weak episode, actually. Very rarely am I critical of us, but that was, I think, good. And I do think that NXT took the fan lead again, but I know that we're still in first place because we have more Hall of Fame trophies. NXT is only ahead by 3,000. Also, just realized and forgot that we don't have a women's title, but this episode is going to suck even more. Okay, I got it. Sean, you're about to get. Oh my goodness. We gotta give Bailey. We're giving Bailey the week off. Roman Reigns always asking for a damn title shot. We can't do it this week because the champion ain't here unless we fired Mello, but that wouldn't make sense. All right. Thing 1, I giving Bailey the week off. She's at 1 stamina. Thing 2, say we're making a sign. We got to make 2 to 3 signings. At least this time around, we're not getting screwed out of $25,000. Please be people that could help us. Aleister Black, the British Bulldog. Aleister probably could, if I'm being honest. I knew I shouldn't have done that. But I did anyways. Alright. Aleister is the best name here. Who the hell is Jesse feuding with? Finn. I don't like that whatsoever. Finn's also about to leave us because his contract's expiring. What is British Bulldog? He is a face bruiser. Aleister is a heel fighter. Uncle Howdy. This is about to be an all-time bad episode. I can tell y'all that right off the rip because so many people are vetoed and all of that talent scout searching sucked. We also only have, all right, I was about to say, I thought we only had 3 available when there's 4. Because we did that to Bailey. So we had 5. Sorry, Bailey. Kyrie. All right. Kiana James wants a no-holds-barred match. Nobody here is going to fit that. Nobody. This is about to be a terrible no-holds-barred match. She is a heel fighter that is a level 1. All right, Kiana, we're going to help you out. We have a lot of these. All right, Kiana James, where you at? At least she went up. All right. Kiana James versus local talent in a no-holds-barred match. I ain't trying to make her that mad. Also, if you lose, I might just fire you. You can't be losing to local talent. British Bulldog. British Bulldog. British Bulldog. I think he should face Jesse Ventura in our main event for the U.S. title. And I know that they're both bruisers, but at least there's a heel-face dynamic. We're going back to the 80s. Roman, Sami, Finn, Braun Breaker, Oba, Rhea, Naomi, Kyrie. Who wanted the match with Kyrie? I think it was Bailey. We got to do that in the next couple weeks. Roman wants a title shot. Everything else is not that chaotic. What was also the power card we got for this, by the way? I don't remember. We need a Roman match. I think we might do Aleister versus Sami. I think that makes a lot of sense. Nobody here would give Roman a good match, if I'm just being honest. Aleister probably, but I just said I wanted to do Aleister versus Sami. So making his return to SmackDown for the week, because I don't really think this is a good long-term thing. Aleister Black and Sami Zayn. And you know what? Whatever the hell happens, happens. We're trying to get the fans back up. So, Obafemi and Finn in a backstage brawl. We don't have any money for charity promos. Instead, we'll be doing all the ad promos. We need... Alright, so... We need Naomi or Kyrie to be a specialist. If our tag rivalry is Naomi and Bayley versus Dakota and Kyrie, we need Kyrie to be a specialist. Which she turns into a fighter. So can we have Naomi be a specialist? We can. Doesn't make the most sense, but you see why we're in that predicament. So, it's not going to be a good episode. I could say that. It might be. I doubt it. I do think Uncle Howdy could probably get a match out of Jesse Ventura. But I already signed British Bulldog. Also just realized there's an injury rehab card here. Dominic is out for still a long time. Worst case scenario, we might be able to let him go. This is dark times. Dark freaking times. I was looking eye to eye with the freaking British Bulldog. Alright, I want to get back at NXT. We're using everything in NXT. Even stuff that might not matter to them. So we'll use those this week. When we go to the go home episode, we're using this one. We're using this one. We might even use this one because they use this one on us a lot. So we're still using it. We're going to be using a lot of them on the go home episode. So next week we need to use those power cards. As I'm running out of pages in my notebook, by the way. It's kind of good that this ship is slowing down. But we're at episode 142 right now. It might be up there for our weirdest episode. Sami Zayn's playing a game of faith. Because if he loses, he's gone from the roster. We get money out of it, but we're losing a roster member. Finn's probably about to leave because his contract's about to expire. Dominic might get fired because of that. Jesse Ventura's freaking going on a U.S. title run. So, Sami Zayn versus Aleister Black. Casket match. Kiana James versus local talent, who, to be exact, is named Clubberella. Almost the same level as her. What is this? It's a no-holds-barred match. Backstage brawl with Obafemi and Finn Balor. I also realized we have not used Braun Breaker in a minute. Backstage brawl. We need a tag team for Roman and Seth to feud with. We might be stuck with Oba and Mello versus Roman and Seth. If that's the case, we need to take the title off of Mello. Jesse Ventura versus British Bulldog. U.S. title. Alright. I don't really care what happens on this episode. We got a lot. Sammy stays to fight another day. Okay, Kiana wins. I said if she lost, I would fire her. She won. She cares about her job. Oba wins. I just realized that it freaking stopped the Jesse Ventura rivalry with Finn. Okay, so now the U.S. title is going to be vacated. And Jesse Ventura is hurt. Damn it. I really wanted. We should have tried to trade for Abyss. We should have really tried to trade for Abyss. Abyss and Obafemi sounds fun. We might be doing that. We got like 3 weeks to wait though. Abyss also would be a good fit in ECW, by the way. Anytime I see somebody that I think would be a good fit in ECW, I'll acknowledge it. So we're back ahead in the fans with NXT. Obafemi Abyss casket match might be our Mania match. We have obviously a long way to go before that. I think we got to keep Finn. I'd rather keep him. I think we got to keep him. That's not that crazy either. It sucks because I brought Kyrie into the mix, but Kyrie, it sucks. I don't know. At least, hey, I ain't got to worry about doing these commissioner goals anymore. All right, so thing 1. We're using this on NXT. Cannot be for next week's shows. We're using this on NXT. And we're using this on NXT. So how many did what was the first one we did? So NXT, yeah, screw you. All right, thing 2, let's go ahead and get this because we might need it at some point. Thing 3, we're done with the Immortal and Legends talent search. We might at the pay-per-view do it. At the pay-per-view, maybe. But I'd rather do 2, 2, 1. That makes sense. So let's go here. Our women's division is fine. We need to find tag teams. All right, screw it. I really want to. I also know that obviously I could do this, which I actually think that's the route to go, actually. All right, let's go ahead and do this. Jimmy Uso, Tama Tonga, Montez, and Johnny Gargano. Gargano and Mello. We could do something with them with the WWE title. Ciampa always pops up, so hilariously he didn't pop up here. Montez did very well for us when he was on our roster. I don't even think we've not had Gargano on our roster for like a long term. We've had him like for an episode or 2, but he was never here that long term. If Dominic could come back quickly, which he has still got, logically speaking, holy crap, that would be a lot of money. You see, because we could bring him back legitimately next week. If we bought this and used both injury rehab cards, he could be used. So I think what I'm actually going to do is just wait out the 2 weeks and bring Dominic back. So we'll do Finn and Dominic versus Seth and Roman for the tag titles. We need something for Jesse Ventura, but that will be after the pay-per-view. So I think Gargano makes sense. Montez makes sense. Braun Breaker, we got to find something for. It might be Braun and Oba. We need something for Sammy. So we need something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need to make a signing. Sammy is also at 0 stamina. So Sammy, this week you'll be cutting a charity promo, by the way. Can't be risking too much. This go home episode is going to suck. It's going to suck. So it's a case of, do we go with Montez or do we go with Gargano? Is essentially what we're looking at right now. I think Montez might help us out a little bit more. So we're going to go bring in Montez forward. Now, what is funny about this? Gauntlet Eliminator. Okay, what is funny about this is that we bought the fixed match card. We actually have 2 of these. When the hell did we get another one? We have 2 of these, so we're definitely using 1. All right, we don't have enough money for a Gauntlet Eliminator match now, probably, I'll say. We have just enough. We could have Montez win this Gauntlet Eliminator and get 3 weeks added to his contract, which I think is the way to go. And we're looking at this as a #1 contenders match for the WWE title at the pay-per-view. So Mello will probably do a promo for us. So if we had any other contracted talent, this would help us out a lot, by the way. I also forgot that we got to do Roman in a WWE title match. We will do that in the opening contest. That way we don't get screwed over next week. Bailey wants a match with Kairi Sane. So in the opening contest, we will do Roman versus Mello for the title, with Finn doing the run-in on Roman. And we might be coming back to that. It does not make... All right, we don't have to do a Gauntlet Eliminator. I just thought it made a lot of sense because we could extend Montez's contract. But these 4 men make a lot of sense in the Gauntlet Eliminator. You know what? If Roman becomes... Oh, my God. All right. We're doing this without... And if Roman wins, he wins. Whoever wins this, hopefully Montez or Finn, that way their contract's extended. Because we might be going down the route of double champions, which I entirely don't like it. I don't think y'all like it either, if I'm being honest. There's that. So we need a Dakota Kai Sol Ruka match. We don't have to, but we'll do a Dakota Kai and Sol Ruka match. And then we'll probably put a stipulation on them next week. Kairi and Bailey, we need a match with. We'll go ahead and do that now. Yeah, a lot of these are not making sense. But I'd rather get some of these done than not. So, let me get all these charity promos up here, and then we'll see what we're working with. We'll do a charity promo at Rhea and Stephanie. This is probably not going to get a lot from us. And then this match... We could have done, like, the half-off match, by the way. Alright, I'm not that, like, enthused to do what I planned on. We do need a new U.S. champion. Alright. I'm alright. We're doing a big U.S. title match. Oba, Braun, Montez, Seth. If Seth wins... and Roman wins, we're doing double Shield, double title reigns. I'm not the most enthused about it, but it just makes sense. Anybody else wins, we'll go from there. We're doing these 2 in a women's title match on next week's show. Yeah, let's find out. All right. We don't have to do this match, so... it makes sense to do the Kiana James tag match this week, actually. So Kiana James and Dakota Kai versus Sol Ruka. We'll do the women's tag champs. This doesn't make much sense, but it was what was requested. Correct? Yes. I also forgot Kiana James' contract expired. You going to be taking a discount? Probably not. She probably won't. Alright. This is another episode that does not make a lot of sense. It makes more sense than the past couple have. I'm just trying to get to the pay-per-view. And then we legitimately got 1 more month left together. It's also getting very cold right now. Maybe that's why stuff has not been making sense. I wanted Abyss. I want Abyss. So we need to find... we might be trading Jesse Ventura for Abyss. I think that might be... because we could do Abyss Obafemi, Dominic and Finn versus the Shield, Judgment Day versus Shield. Let me just shorten it down. Montez versus Mello, I'm not against. So who does that leave? That leaves Braun Breaker versus Sami. So we might need to trade Sami away for a better opponent for Braun Breaker, or do Sami versus Montez, Mello versus Braun. The issue there is, like, I got to turn people face and change their styles. That's kind of why I'm not trying to do that. And Braun Breaker and Mello have faced off in real life before. But worst comes to worst, that's what the direction is. So Jesse Ventura might be traded for Abyss. And I'm so sorry to Mello, but there's a high chance you win this. Lose this match. You win. Hey, you're him. You're legitimately him. Right now, you are him, because as you're saying, you win this match, you're legitimately him. So it's kind of like stamped. I'm just adding on a bunch of words. Also, just realized all our money went towards freaking Montez Ford. Now our women's tag team division kind of thrown into shambles. I do need a title change here. We need to get the tag titles off of Stephanie and Rhea, unless we're just doing freaking all double champions, which belt collect or whatever the hell you want to call this stuff. But you get the point I just got there. Oba Femi versus Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins. I'm also almost losing my voice, so take that as you will. All right. Gainesville, Georgia. Hopefully AJ Styles is here in spirit. So Montez is him, stamped. I said you win, you're him, stamped. And he heard it. He wanted that verification. A match that does not make is not going to get good rate for us, sadly. And then she's out for 2 weeks. Could have been worse. Could have been worse. Okay, this is not helping much out. So Oba Femi wins here. Is now feuding with Seth. I don't like that whatsoever. As there's Tommaso Ciampa. I was like, where the hell? All right. Trade for Abyss might be difficult because I just saw you had the world title. The Motor City. See, this would have made a lot more sense. It was Carl Anderson teaming with Sabin. Because you could call them literally the Motor City Machine Guns. But I'm not the decision maker there. All right. I'm trying to keep this lead, and I'm gonna just like handed it right back to NXT. Okay, I didn't. I lied. All right, though. Gotta step it up. Gotta keep it going. Okay. We hit him with 3 power cards. That is the worst person to do that to. He's hitting us with 3 power cards as well. It seems reasonable. I know I said I was gonna lowball her. I'm being generous. I don't even think she said she'd get the win, but she did. At least one Tornado tag match this week, and we will do that with our women's tag team titles. I know it's a lot, but that's probably the only tag match we're booked, so it makes sense to do that then. What all do we need to do? All right, Jesse Ventura is about to be back. All right, we need... Probably need to take the title off Melo, if I'm being honest. I don't know who to put the... Ooh. How long is Dom out for still? I keep forgetting. 4 weeks. So he... is going to be back very soon. So he's about to be back. Because we could use it here, and then he's back at the pay-per-view, correct? We're probably about to take the title off Melo, sadly. Mainly because, all right, we will use this on him because I don't think we could be hit with that power card again. And he obviously needs it the most out of everybody. Who the hell would put the title on, though? I don't necessarily know. I'm going to have Sami, for the time being, doing a charity promo. We probably don't have enough people to be doing charity promos because we've got 3 injuries. Kyrie needs a match. I think a Kyrie-Naomi match makes sense if we're trying to reestablish that rivalry. And then backstage brawl. We'll have Sol Ruka do this other charity promo because there's no other female that she could face. So we have enough for the matches and one more charity promo. Like I said, first of all, I did not realize that they're having Seth feud with Braun Breaker. The issue is we have not found a proper tag partner for Braun Breaker. If AJ Styles popped up, I think he would fit. But you get what I'm saying? Because I wanted to do Braun and a tag partner versus Seth and Roman. But I also don't really. I want Abyss, and I want Abyss to feud Obafemi. Now, that might be wishful thinking. But we're about to see after the pay per view, obviously. I wanted Montez to feud with Melo. And if I'm being honest, I wanted it to be over the U.S. title, not the WWE title. But we're going to put them in the WWE title match right here. If Melo loses, he loses. But we just told y'all he's certified elite stamped. So that might not be the case. Now, like I said, we got room for 2 more matches and 1 more charity promo. We don't really have enough to be doing a talent scout search and signing people to like fill out this last promo. And the main reason I'm doing that tornado tag is to get the injury rehab card that came out of that. I didn't know what the hell I was saying. So we will come back up here and do another backstage brawl. This one with Braun Breaker and Seth. And I want this rivalry to conclude. And I kind of want Obafemi to still be champion. I was about to do a steel cage match. I definitely don't think we have enough for a steel cage match. We have enough for an ambulance match. But I do think somebody would get hurt here. Now, if I look at our power cards. Alright, I was about to say, we don't have any that, like, raise up a match. We could buy this one, but that just doesn't make sense. I think it would make sense to use that. All right, how many of these matches are stipulations? All of them but one. Because I'm trying to put a stipulation on this match. I'm not going to take it and make this an ambulance match because I have plans for these two. An ambulance match, obviously, I'm signing somebody up to get hurt. So it has to be a matchup up here. Underground's the same thing. Last man standing, maybe. I think this as a last man standing makes sense. And because we have stipulation on all of these matches, and I don't know if we'll get a chance to use this again, we'll go ahead and use it on this one, this week. So we can go ahead and buy this. Where's Dom? Dom's at 4 weeks. I don't want to. I kind of wanted to buy the power card, but I think I'll leave it. So this match makes sense. Actually, I know what we need to do. All right. Gargano again. He's been terrible. He's just been very bad. Charlie Dempsey would be decent to bring him back. We haven't had him on the roster in a minute. He's not costing that much. I don't really know what the hell he'd be doing. Is there anybody that Dempsey would be decent against? Sammy, maybe. I lied to y'all. We'll bring on Paul Orndorff. Oh, timeout. It would be a good tag partner for Braun Breaker here. Nobody. In real life, theory. Ha ha ha. If you get it, you get it. Alright. Episode. What is this pay-per-view, by the way? Survivor Series. I don't think the Survivor Series power card is that good. But I don't remember it off. I don't even know what it is. I know it's not the money one. That's the one I want. Rhea Ripley. And Stephanie Vaquer versus Kiana James and Dakota Kai in a tornado tag title match. Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins, backstage brawl. Now this tag team stuff again. If we find somebody that I could like team with Braun, we might be replacing the Judgment Day with Braun, but I'm not guaranteeing that. Carmelo Hayes defending the WWE title against Montez Ford. Naomi versus Kairi Sane. Backstage brawl. And Obafemi versus Finn Balor, last man standing. As the champs retain, Kiana James is hurt for 3 weeks. Look, getting hurt on the go home episode is the best time to get hurt. Because you miss the pay-per-view, but we don't have that many pay-per-view spots, then you can come back. So it's not the worst timing. It's just kind of screwing Solruka over a little bit because she doesn't have a proper rival. She's technically feuding with Dakota. She only got 500 fans, though, so... Solruka, I can guarantee you would bring in a lot more than 500 fans, if we're being honest. Naomi wins. Shout out Paul Orndorff. Obafemi wins. That's terrible. That is not good. We're going all in for Abyss. And that might be the title of this. It's just hilarious. I just think Abyss and Obafemi. Oh my goodness, we have no money. We have no money going into this pay-per-view. ECW has $1 million. That... You know what? That's the best timing for that. Solruka's also got a 70 stamina. That's kind of crazy. All right, Dakota. Yes, you would definitely be on this pay-per-view because everybody else is cannot. So Dakota will be in this match. We need an underground match right here, and we need somebody in our main event, which will most likely be Roman. It is the highest stamina. So who the hell could be in this match right here? Does it have to be in the underground? What do we get out of this? It doesn't really benefit us that much. So Dakota's got a match. Correct, yes. Roman's got a match, yes. Who's going to get the best promo for us? Holy balls. Sami. Alright, so what the hell is this match going to be? We could do... we're probably just going to do a triple threat WWE title match. Maybe a 4-way. What is the stipulation or the PLE bonus for this show? I think it is a cage match. I lied to y'all. It's a tag, tornado tag. We don't have a logical tornado tag match to do, so we will avoid that. We will do this, which I know limits us. What the hell was the bonus thing that we got, by the way? This. I don't know if that helped us that much this season. Or this month. But... so I have $20,000 to work with. I almost had $20 to work with. So we can't even do really... it doesn't make that much sense to do a proper stipulation match anyway. So, Mello, Braun, Seth, Finn. It makes the most sense for this to be Braun. because we could have Mello and Montez, Oba, and whoever. Braun. So we need to trade Sami and Jesse Ventura. Preferably Jesse Ventura for Abyss and Sami for someone to feud with Braun with. Because we're doing Judgment Day versus Shield, Mello versus Montez, Oba versus Abyss, so Braun versus that whoever we're trading Sami for. Worst case scenario, we could do Braun versus Sami, but I'm trying to do stuff that has not happened in real life. So there's all of that. Now we can use one of. We end up using one of these on Oba and one of these on Dominic. But it doesn't make that much sense to use on Dominic this week. So we'll go ahead and use it. We'll use it next week on Oba Femi, obviously, because then that would be the 3 weeks. I think this is going to screw up everything up, yes. So we can't even do a damn charity promo. I miscalculated somewhere. Unless we fired somebody, but I don't plan on it. How many fixed match cards? We have 3. So I 100% effed up. I only thought we had 1. Alright, it is what it is. I'm going to write all this down so we can get to this trade. Dakota Kai of SmackDown. And Michelle McCool of ECW, correct? Yes. Versus Dakota Kai's former tag partner, Io Sky of Raw and Shotzi of NXT. And we win. We're part of the winning side. Carmelo Hayes versus Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. WWE title match. Seth wins. And Finn is hurt for 3 weeks. I'm so sorry, Kevin. I'm so sorry, Kevin. Roman Reigns of SmackDown versus Eric of Raw. Of Raw is War. Get it, get it. Viking Raiders, War Raiders. Ken Shamrock of NXT, who will more than likely win this. He should be in ECW. That's the 3rd time this video I'll say it. And Gunther of actually ECW. And Ken Shamrock wins. Like I predicted. Alright. NXT's 3,000 fans behind us. So, Jesse Ventura, Abyss. I'm losing money on this, but style what I want to actually see would help. Now, what all did I say we needed? We need Finn and Dom. We need someone for Braun Breaker to feud with, who's now level 25. We'll also need to take this WWE title off of Seth, and we'll more than likely be giving it to Braun Breaker. So we need to trade Sami. We need to trade Sami for someone that can feud with Braun Breaker. If we can't trade Sami, then we will just keep him and he will feud with Braun Breaker. Is there anybody else on Raw we'd be intrigued by that could feud with Braun Breaker? Because we've already done him and Big E. I will admit that him and Shaq sounds somewhat interesting. But for the time being, because we have more value here, I'm willing to do this straight up. They might not be because Abyss is their world champion. But we will see. Okay. They're probably not that happy about it because Abyss is their world champ. So I will be willing to give up 20. We'll start with 50,000. Okay. I don't know why they're getting this damn mad about it. We're giving up a lot of freaking money here. Okay. 50,000 is the most I'm doing. And that sucks because it's ruining all of our trades. And we haven't even tried a Sami trade yet. Okay. So we got Abyss. That was the main thing I wanted. Now we only have one chance to trade Sami Zayn away for someone to feud with Braun Breaker. Logically speaking, I do think Ken Shamrock would be good in doing that. But he is also their champion. I'm willing to acquire Omos as well. Dragon Lee would be nice. We might go for Dragon Lee regardless. All right. The Rock and Braun Breaker. I think I'd rather try Ken Shamrock and Braun Breaker. So, Sami Zayn and like $150,000, which is a lot of money, but at least I have acquiring 2 extra roster spots as well. Because I only got one chance at this. And I feel that Obafemi and Omos might could do like a short program. So I'm willing to try this. I'm willing to lower it actually. We'll try 125,000 because we only get one chance. And maybe I'm asking for too much and getting Dragon Lee and Omos, but go big or go home. Okay. I'm not trying to spend any more money, if I'm being honest, outside of contract extensions. We could bring in EO. We could bring EO in. I don't know why I specified on EO. Because I could get rid of Raquel, because we don't really need Raquel. EO, Kyrie, Naomi. Because we don't need Omos and Dragon Lee. Kyrie makes sense. Because I want to do Rhea Stephanie, 1-on-1. EO, Kyrie, Dakota, Bailey. Then we're left to Naomi and Soruka. Which what sucks about that is that we have done that this season. So as much as I love EO, and as much as that sounds good, but because we've already done the other stuff, that's what's kind of defeating this. And at least we just acquired Omos and Dragon Lee. So this is actually a good offer. If it was any other time, this is like, we're getting to the end. We're getting to the end. So that's why I'm saying no. I'm not that disappointed. Not disappointed. If you gave me money, though, a lot of money, which I think they were asked, yeah, timeout. Timeout. I think we were giving them money away the first time. This time around, they were giving us money. I was like, because I knew it was more than $2,000. So they're trying, okay. I'm going to decline it one more time. But if it's like $50,000, I'll accept it. Which I doubt. That's a lot, even though he's got $1 million. So, okay. Sorry, Mr. Pierce. We just acquired Abyss. I'm not, especially for freaking Valhalla. Go to hell. All right. Sorry, Adam Pierce. Maybe they're trying to help me because Kyrie's about to leave anyways. That sounds reasonable. Boom. All right. All match types this week are free. Still a power card from each opponent next week. Cannot steal. I don't know how many stipulation matches we'll do this week. This benefits us for twice. Specialists on your roster gain 10 ring XP. How many? We have one. I also forgot we have freaking Ken Shamrock, which is hilarious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why does everything have to be 6 and the number after it? You know what? Screw it. I'm glad that, okay, only one of them was a level 25 already. I was about to say that. At least one submission match this week. All right. We're into this video now because the next time around will be the last one for this series. So when will that be done? I don't properly know, but we are going into the right direction. We just made a big trade, like I said. We're about to get some people healthy on the roster. So we will see where all that goes then. So I appreciate y'all for watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm out for now, and goodbye.